live session. Okay, I'll be sharing my screen. Is my screen visible? Just give me a thumbs up or just open your mic and just tell me. All right.
Yes, sir.
So let's get started with this. So I'll be talking about the fast API question. Okay, and then Jivraj will be taking over, and then he will be talking about Llama and much more stuff. Okay, related to GA3. So basically, everything related to GA2 has been already covered and in earlier lectures. So the only thing which has not been touched yet is this fast API and REST API stuff. Okay, so we'll be looking through this and uh, okay, let's get started. So if you guys have attended the live session which took place on, I guess, uh, last Thursday or Friday, we did a Flask special tutorial in that live session. So I talked about Flask and how you can deploy your uh, web APIs using Flask rather than Vercel. Okay, so today we'll be talking about Fast API, and what you will realize is that Fast API, the syntax of Fast API is much more similar to uh, Flask than to REST API. Okay, so we will be looking through this, and let's create a new uh, API. Okay, so I won't be downloading this data set and solving this question with you because obviously. So I have downloaded a new data set and uh, okay, so this is the data set. Actually, I requested this data set from a website which have some data about the world cities or something. Okay, so they send me this data set, this CSV file, and we'll be creating a new new fast API application with this. Okay, so let's get started, and I'll be creating a new folder. Okay, so before starting with Flask API, I want to give you guys kind of a refresher on what is API, because there are several people who are posting on Discourse and other sources of group chat that they're not able to understand what does API stand for. So they're not able to understand how things are communicating with each other and how uh, all these different components are getting together to create this application. Okay, so first of all, I will be talking about how APIs work and what is the actual need of
Uh,
APIs in our uh, Jivraj, are you saying something?
uh, sh- yeah. So
Okay.
actually, someone just raised hand. I think Shakshi. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sir, I've posted on Discourse also, and I've mailed the problem. I've mailed you the problem also. Actually, sir, I'm facing the same problem, which I have asked earlier yesterday.
Wait. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Sharansh.
Yeah.
Actually, she is facing issue with deploying it. Deploying a Flask application on Vercel. So the issue
Okay.
that she is facing is the Flask module is not getting downloaded on Vercel. So can you just show
Okay.
that the
Yeah,
Vercel.json
for sure.
configuration
For
file
sure.
part?
For sure. Okay. Okay. So actually, when you're deploying your Flask application on Vercel, so there are a few things that you have to keep in mind. Okay. So first of all, the error that you are telling me, that seems to be occurring from this requirements.txt. Okay. So answer me this. Uh, did you create a new virtual environment for this, or did you just install Flask on your global environment?
Sir, actually, first I added a requirement.txt file, and in that I've added
Okay.
Flask and Flask course. But Carlton sir said that I can use the example which is given in the question. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so that I don't need the file requirement.txt. Then I'll remove that file and I rewrite the code, The code is working, but I'm getting the error right now is that it is giving me the null output. That it should give me a list of integers. The question is
Okay.
asking, but
Okay.
I'm getting a null output.
You are getting a null output. All right. So the Flask application is running fine as intended. Like, is it? Are you able to see something happening when you are? Can you just share the screen? That would be much more convenient for us to understand.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Just a minute, sir.
Sure. Sure. Okay. I've stopped sharing. You can share a screen now. By the way, guys, in the meanwhile, I just want to ask you guys: have you tried that optional exercise I told you for the Flask API? That zodiac sign one. Has anyone just tried it? Anyone? The app where the assignment which I gave you guys to ask a person's month of birth, and then you have to return the zodiac sign associated with that particular person. Has anyone done that? All right, I
Is
guess no one. Okay,
Sir, is my screen is
so
visible?
yeah, your screen is visible. Okay, so I understand that you guys might have not, paid any attention, paid some kind of attention to that optional exercise, because the GAs and the GAs of TDS are enough to consume your time.
Yes, sir. That is the main
Because
problem. Actually, I under
yeah,
from my side, sir. It is the actual problem because that in GAs, I'm spending almost 2 days, 2 and 3 days for
that's
one GA.
entirely acceptable. Yeah, I can relate with that. So the GAs are like they have 18 to 10 to 18 questions on an average till now, and yeah, I can understand completely that it's consuming most of your time. But if you get some time and you are in the mood, okay, so I'm in the mood and now I want to create some new application, you can simply go ahead with that project. That was a mini project. You can in fact have many more types of ideas, and you can execute them using Flask API. That's up to you. I just gave you optional project. Okay, so let's look what Sakshi is facing with. Okay.
Yes, sir. I'm just running the application again.
Okay, so you are using Vercel CLI.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm Saransh.
Yeah.
When writing the tools that we need in the requirements text file, do we need to specify the version of the tools that we need?
Yes, you have to specify the version, but let me tell you that you don't have to, manually type this requirements.txt. It can be easily done using a single line command in Python. So, uh, I guess I will just tell you how to do this. Sakshi, can you run a command?
Yes, sir. Where,
Okay.
sir?
So
In
the
Bash?
command in PowerShell, that would be much more better. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, do you have any virtual environment for this project?
No, sir. Actually, I've tried to create a virtual environment, but it is showing me some error. That's why I have not created it.
Okay. So please type in Python space
Space, what, sir?
freeze E. Okay. Press enter. Okay. So no such directory. Okay. You haven't opened any directory yet.
Okay, sir.
This yes.
Just
Okay.
let
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. This should work. Let me check it once. Okay. So the command is something like that, Python freeze, and then you just, it puts, it dumps out all the requirements required for the, like, it gives you each and every library that's present in your virtual environment or your global
Isn't
environment,
that pip
and
freeze?
along with that you will get the version as well. So yeah, Ritik, you were saying.
Isn't it pip freeze? Pip
Okay, okay,
pip
yeah.
freeze.
I was confused with that. I
Uh,
was thinking that it should be Python or pip.
Sorry, what
Just
was
try
that?
pip freeze. Pip
pip
freeze.
pip
PIP.
pip.
Remove this Python.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Write pip
pip
freeze.
pip.
PIP
P
space
PIP.
space freeze ZE. Yeah. Press enter.
Just enter.
Okay, so this will return each and every module that's present in your global environment at the moment. Okay, so if you are using a virtual environment, then it will return the libraries which are specifically present in that virtual environment. Because she is currently using a global environment, that's why it's just returned each and every library in her system. Okay, so now how you can uh, make a requirements.txt file out of this? Simple. Can you press the up arrow key? Okay, so as you can see that the up arrow key will just paste the previous command. Now
Ye-
enter space, uh, greater than sign.
Sir, currently I'm not in the that directory which is in which contains the versal file, that is dot
No worries.
index dot.
I'm just
Okay,
demonstrating
sir.
how you can create a requirements.txt.
Okay,
No
sir.
worries.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so space and requirements.txt. Type it out. So what it will do is this pip freeze, as you saw, that pip freeze will return all this text. Now what this greater than sign and this name of the file will do, it will dump everything, each and the entire output into this file. So just press enter. So now it should have been created. Yeah, there is the requirements.txt. Can you open this file in your
Below
first?
the Q Versal Python. Below, no, 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 not in first. In okay, lower,
Currently,
in
I'm
the
in the
bottom of the
directory of.
screen.
I'm in the
That's actually
directory.
another requirements.txt. So can if you can see this
Oh,
directory over there in her terminal, so it's first. Okay, so
Yeah. Yes, sir.
this is how you can create a requirements.txt. You never have to type it out. Okay, so yeah, that's a simple way to create it. Okay, so now
Saransh,
please show
then
your. Yeah.
wait, just one more question. Then, if I'm running a virtual environment by UV, then it will
Mhm.
only copy out the tools that are in the virtual environment.
Exactly. If you are using UV, so that's a downside of UV, which I think it is that, like, whenever you're using UV, you are not installing those uh, libraries. So if you're not installing those libraries, it won't be present in your virtual environment. And if it is not in your virtual environment, then you won't be able to dump it out on in requirements.txt. So that's the downside of UV, which I feel. Uh, yeah, so, like, if you have a minor project, let's say you don't have to deploy it somewhere, you just have to run it in your file, in your device. So that in that case you can use UV. But other than that, I would recommend you to just create a virtual environment and install libraries in that. Okay.
Sir, it's now it's
Okay,
showing nothing. I don't know
actually
what
your
is
server is not
happening.
running.
Sorry.
Your server is not running. Can you just run this command versal deploy prod once again? They should. Yeah. So generally, I'm not a big fan of Vercel CLI. I usually use just create my projects and then push to GitHub and then establish the connection between uh, Vercel and GitHub.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
That's,
now,
I find
now
that
it's
that's the
showing
okay.
blank
So
page.
it's showing you blank. Okay. So can you open the Dev Tools once? Just right click over here on the screen. Yeah. No, not here
Yes.
on this white screen. Yeah. Just right click, inspect, and go to console. Can you reload once?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
This is
Nothing is
it is
showing.
showing
Can you show
nothing.
me the code?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So you are using HTTPX.
Yes, sir. Actually, yesterday, sir told me that I can use the example file, which is already example code, which is given in the question. That's why I rewrite the code. Otherwise, I have created
Okay.
the requirement.txt file, and after that, I'm deploying both of them. And but
Okay. Okay.
this was working yesterday, sir. It is not showing blank yesterday. Now I didn't get it why it is doing
So it
showing
was
blank
working
today.
perfectly.
Yes, sir. It was working. It is not showing blank. The error page is showing that this error page is showing. But sir told me that I add backslash and API, then it will working. It will showing the some data kind of. When I
Do you
entered
have
that link in the question in the assignment, it was giving me the null list
yeah.
containing null elements.
Okay. Yeah, that's
So
supposed
that
to happen when nothing is showing. Can you scroll down? Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Scroll. Okay, so you are using cores. Okay. Scroll. Okay. I would say that you have used a lot of, complexity. You just made it a lot more complex.
Actually, sir, I've taken help from ChatGPT. So
Okay. Yeah, that explains these comments.
yes, sir.
Okay. Hmm, I guess that you don't have so, like it's not directing you to somewhere. Uh, mm, Also, this is uh, okay.
Sir, also one question number 9. I don't know how to use class as a variable name.
As a variable name, which question number 9?
Sir, in question number 9,
Okay. That so I'll be talking about that. Yeah, that's one thing which I faced as well. I'll be talking about that.
yes, sir, because
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
used
I understand.
underscore, but it is giving me the answer when I
Yeah,
typed in the URL in the browser, but
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
is not taken
So
at yes.
because the
Okay.
thing is that it's actually a keyword in Python. It won't allow
Yes,
you to
sir.
use class variable. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Otherwise, my code was working, sir, correctly. Just the name I'm not getting why how to write it.
Also, so actually, this is the index.py. Yeah. So this is also not a Flask-based code. This is more like an HTTP. You're creating HTTP server. This is not a Flask-based application. Uh,
Okay,
okay.
sir. Sir, I'll try to do it again according to the requirement and add requirement.txt file and try to run it. If there, after that, I will share my screen and say, give you the.
Okay. You can do that. Also,
The
mm,
Flask-based code is not needed right here. Even just if
yeah, it's
the
not
API.
needed, but
So I'm a bit confused because it was working perfectly, not perfectly, but it was working yesterday. But
can you open Vercel once again?
yes,
Vercel, the tab in which you have Vercel. Yesterday, was this particular box over here? Was this showing like
No,
versus
the
something
box
like
was the same, sir. It was showing not found. But when I added
okay,
the backslash API in the URL, then it was
okay,
showing the dictionary kind of.
okay. So it was returning the JSON object. What I feel
What is
is
your folder
that
structure?
you yeah.
What is your folder structure?
Sorry.
Can you show your folder structure once? Just go back to your VS Code. Yeah. So
I
this is
done it. Just I created the directory, then I created one more folder API, and then I created index.py inside the API. Should I remove that dot Vercel and again
no,
deploy
no,
the
no, no,
Vercel command and
no, no, no. So
create a
that's
project
actually
name?
no, that won't work because Vercel CLI has created that folder. So it must contain some build instructions which Vercel has to follow.
Are these
Yeah.
version.json and everything? Are they inside the API file?
No, it is not in the API
Okay.
file. It is in the Vercel Python API, the directory which I've created. The JSON file is in this, and the index.py file is in API. That's what in the question mentioned.
Well, we will have to look it in much more. We have to look into it much more depth.
Okay,
So
sir.
for
Sir,
now,
I
let's
will ask
ask.
in the last of the in last
For sure, for sure. Uh,
until I try to
yeah,
make
just try
it
to,
work.
yeah,
Yes,
got it.
sir. Thank you.
By the
Excuse
way,
me, sir.
do you
Are
have
we
GitHub?
discussing
I
project?
just saw a git ignore file. Do you have GitHub? Do you have a GitHub instance working here? Because there is git ignore. So do you have? Are you like pushing it to GitHub as well? Because if you are, then you can see what was your commits and what went the wrong way. If it was working perfectly fine a few days back, then you would be able to see what commits that you made and what just put it off the track. So do you have GitHub?
Bro, so I think I know what's the problem, sir. Over here, you're
Yeah,
splitting. Hello?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Just
think you're just getting the last parameter here. I think you're not getting all the parameters. In the API, in the question, when they send it, they send multiple parameters, with name. This one is just taking the last one. I think you can see it on the screen. Or
can
change the
you
first
run
one.
this application once more? I just yeah. Now go back to your Google. Okay. So just open it once again. Okay. Now enter that API and now enter some arguments as well. Question mark name. I guess there is a name parameter. Yeah. Enter name equals to anything. Yeah. Okay. So this will give you null. Uh, just go back to your JSON file once. The JSON file which actually contains your code. Sorry, your data. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
right click on this. Right click once and format document. That's a much better way to view this file. Okay. Just copy this first name, any name. Just copy any name from here. Okay. You have G. Copy it and now paste this. You just remove this and paste this. Enter. Okay. Hmm. I believe that the problem lies in your the way you are actually traversing through the JSON file. Yes, it's not able to find your JSON file and then somehow okay, so your JSON file is not present in this API folder, right? Can you go to the fifth line of your code? Yeah. Now in front of this q, in front of q, yeah, double dot and slash. Okay. Now save it and run it once again. This should work, hopefully. Let it deploy once. Okay, so it's building. Can you scroll it? Yeah, it's building. Yeah, just wait for it. Okay, so it has connected with your Git repo. Open this URL once again. Do that exact same thing. Yeah, run it. Okay. Uh, Sakshi,
Can
let me
you go to Vercel logs maybe? There you can find the actual.
yeah, just go back to Vercel. Yeah, scroll down. Yeah, yeah, scroll down. Can you just click on this red? Yeah, click over here. Scroll down. No, no, not copy it. Not copy it. Just scroll down there on the screen. Yeah, just scroll it.
Sharansh, copying and
Yeah.
pasting to Notepad will give better visibility, I think.
Uh, all right. Actually, I never do that. I just check it right here. Okay, that would work. No such directory found. Okay, so it's not able to find this file. Can you remove those slash and dot dot ones?
It was giving option, right? API. Okay.
Just run it once again. No, no, just remove that.
Hmm.
Remove it. Yeah, save it and deploy it once again. It should deploy it once again, and then we will see what's the issue. It's building it. Let's wait. Okay. So run that command once again. Yeah. Right. Okay. Go back to your Vercel again in that log. No, no, not here. On the tab, the Vercel tab that you have opened. Open it back and check the logs once again. Okay. So click on this red highlighted part. Copy it. Yeah. Let's check it once again. I guess this is the last logs. Go back to Vercel again. Sakshi, let's do one thing because time is running out of hand. Let's do one thing. We can debug this problem after this session. Okay. Perhaps we can have a separate meeting and then we can debug this error. What do you say? And let's just move ahead with fast
Okay.
API.
Okay,
All right.
sure, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So are we discussing projects, sir?
Not project. We are discussing the second last question of GA2, the fast API one, and then we'll be looking into GA3, and Jivraj will be talking about the Llama, the LLMs. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so first and foremost, I'll be explaining you guys what does API actually do and what's the role of API. Okay, so that has been a constant question on different platforms, and let's address this ones. Okay, so for this, I would like to, uh, you know, show it to you rather than explaining it. Okay, it is open. So this is actually Figma, and it's used for a multitude of purposes. So what we will be doing is I'll be explaining you guys how does APIs work in Figma. Okay. Okay. So let's create a. Okay. So you guys, you don't have to bother with whatever I'm doing. You don't have to learn Figma. So that's this. This is just a tool for me to explain you guys how things work. Okay. If I had a stylus or something, I would have opened a notebook and you know drawn. I would have explained it while writing it. Okay. So let's get started. So first and foremost, whenever we are dealing with networks and all, we have two components. Okay, so first is the user, right? First is the user, and let's mark it once really quickly. User. First one is the user, and
Hello. Does is the
No, the voice is not audible anymore.
yeah, the screen seems to have frozen.
I think his internet just went out.
I think we can even use that analogy, right? Like API is like a waiter, and user is just any customer, and then the server is basically the kitchen or something. So whatever request you make, the API kind of serves it.
Then, like, I'm going to joke here. Then, course is like adding the ability that the API is not racist anymore.
Pardon?
The course allows every kind of system to access the API. So you can say that the API is not racist anymore.
hello, hello, hello.
That
Hi,
is
Saransh.
not a good joke, but still.
Sorry guys, I lost connection. Okay,
I know it's a
so
poor joke, but it still works.
ब्रिटिश इंडिया में होता होगा बट इस पे नहीं होता.
अमेरिका में तो अभी भी होता है भाई.
alright guys, if you are finished with jokes, can we focus?
It
Okay.
was about the analogy that I think you're trying
Actually,
to give.
what I was saying is that API is like a waiter, right? And
Absolutely.
it's basically serving you whatever request you are making, and the kitchen is the server,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's take this analogy more further. Okay. So this user, by the way, till what point you guys were able to see? Because I lost my connection between explaining. So what was the point that you lost me?
You drew this red box and wrote user on it, and then your screen froze.
Okay. So I also drew a new uh, box with a server marked. Okay, so it's like just like Ritvik and one more guy said. I don't remember her name. So the thing is that the users are like you are sitting in a restaurant. Okay, and the server is the kitchen. Okay, so the like you are just sitting in a fancy restaurant, and the server is actually the kitchen over here. Okay, so what does API actually do is it acts like the waiters, just like these two guys just told us. So APIs act like like waiters, and it will just fetch out the date. It will just fetch out the data from the servers and then give it to the users. Okay, and also like okay, so that's, I guess, it's a two-way connection. Uh, okay, so let's draw a line, and so this is the API line. Okay, so APIs are responsible to transfer your data from the server to the users. Okay, just like the waiters we were talking about. Okay, so these guys are like the waiters, and they just take data. They just take what request the user has, and then go back to the server, and then they ask, okay boss, the user is asking for this is the things they're asking for, this is data, kindly give it to me. We just give it to the server. It also checks few authorization keys and whatnot, and then if everything is all right, it will just give you the data. It will just give the data to the APIs, and then these APIs will go back to the user and deliver those data. Okay, so that's the job of APIs. Okay, so now also I will be including the concept of cores over here. Okay, so what does cores do, and why are we going to use cores? So if you guys have actually gone through the entire question, so it says that you should use cores. Otherwise they won't be able to mark you, they won't be able to use that API. Okay, so let me just go back. So if you go over here, we are talking about cores. Okay, so what does cores do? Okay, so cores, let me expand my uh, work
Cause
area.
is like if we like as a user are asking the waiter to give us something, another
Hmm.
person on another table can also ask the waiter to give it that same thing, even if they have not ordered it.
That's a really good analogy. Okay, but obviously, in that analogy, the waiter won't give the other guy the same order, the exact order which was prepared for the user.
Hmm. Hmm.
But over
Maybe the
here, it
exact
will.
copy or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it will give the exact copy. Okay, so here we are, and let me draw. Let's give it color blue. Okay. Okay, so this color blue is quite violent. Okay, this is much better. I will draw a new text box, and so this is our TDS. Okay, so this is our TDS server, and the thing is that our TDS server will actually try to intercept this connection and ask for the same thing the user is asking. Okay, so this connection is exclusively uh, established between a user and a server. Okay, so uh, just like there is a waiter who is exclusively assigned to your let's say to your desk, to your table. So in the same way, this connection has been established between a user and a server. Okay, so no other person should be able to access what's going on over in this connection. Okay, but whenever we are considering, so in TDS, what we are actually doing, so our server is actually, it's going to fetch the data which was prepared for the user from the server. Okay, so you can understand it this way. So TDS will try to go to server. Hey server boss, please give us the exact data which you are delivering to user. But server will say that you are not the user, that you are not the guy which I just talked with. Okay, so you didn't order this particular dish, so I won't give it to you. So this is the usual response of the server, that it won't allow TDS to go ahead and uh, take this order that was meant for the user. So what cores will do is, cores is going to, it's like the user, this particular guy will give the permission to the server that, okay, this TDS is a nice guy as well, you can give my order to him, no worries. Let's say I am a really nice guy, and I don't mind if someone else have my order. So cores is that permission which the user will give to the server, that, okay bro, you can give it to any other person as well. Okay, so in this case it's TDS. And if you have ever seen a course error whenever you're trying to solve a question or in TDS, it will you just have to go to the console tab, and then you will be able to see that cores is not working, something like that. So you will see that there is a server, there is a link which corresponds with Anand sir's. It's a server which belongs to Anand sir, and uh, what's actually happening is that server is actually requesting the server to give the exact data which was prepared for the user to itself. Okay, so it's like trying to take that order from you, and so that's what we actually require to mark you guys. So that's why it's giving that error. Okay, so this is the concept of cores, and I'll be teaching you guys how you can incorporate into your fast API applications as well. Okay, so this was the concept of APIs. Any questions? We'll also mark it here. API. This is the API, and this is our cores. Okay, so cores, and this line is actually cores. Okay, this is how they are actually accessing the data which was prepared. Okay, so yeah, please ask a question.
Chords is
So it's like the cost should be incorporated in your request, the HTTP request.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. So
Also, there
you
was a
have to.
question which I, yeah, go ahead.
So you have to, mention in your code that you are actually giving this permission to any other server or any other person uh, whenever you're trying to create this application. So if I show you my fast API code which I created before this, uh, it is here. Yeah, here it is. Before this lecture, let me show it to you. Okay, so this is the course code. Uh, this is the course code. Over here what we are doing is we are actually allowing it. So this is where we are actually giving him the permissions. Okay, so as you can see that allow origins. So what kind of origins you want to allow? This star means all. Okay, if you are familiar with SQL, you might know what does this star mean. So also if you're familiar with regular expression, so that's a pretty common symbol for all everything. Okay, so the star means that you have to allow everyone to access my dish. Okay, so everyone in the restaurant is able to take the dish that was prepared for you. And uh, allow method, so it allows anyone to access any method. So methods are basically like get, post, put. So these are like HTML verbs. You need not go into much depth of that. So allow headers. What does allow headers mean? So any person can give any headers. So they can give cookies, they can give authorization keys, whatever they want to. Okay, so this star means that. But let's say, but for this particular application I just put it to star. But if you are more if you're more cautious about your application, let's say if you are you have a connection with this application somehow, then what you can do is you can go ahead and you can go ahead to the TDS page. You can try running it without cores, and then it will then just open console tab, and it will show you that it's giving us a cores error. Then you will, and there you will find the actual link of Anand sir's server, which is actually trying to access this dish that was prepared for
so
you.
we
So
could
what
do
you can
we
do
could
is
do
that you can simply copy it
uh,
and paste that particular link over there instead of allowing everyone. Yeah, Ritvik, you were
So
saying something.
these 6 lines of
we were
code will
saying
be
the same thing.
Yeah, please ask a question.
so these 6 line of codes will be common across all the, like, what, like.
Yeah, this is specifically for fast API. For let me show you for Flask what I did. So each and every framework has its own way of incorporating cores into its code. So this was the way for fast API. When it comes to Flask, I guess okay, it's not present here. Okay, uh, it was something like that. So if you just Google it, or search on chat gpt, so it will give you,
There's also like
just ask
Flask
him. So
course.
yeah,
There's
there is
also a
flask.
library called, yeah, Flask course. Yeah, you
Yeah,
can just
there is an
follow those
entire library
tutorials.
for Flask course. I am not able to find where I actually used it. I used it somewhere, not able to find it. Anyway, so whenever you are let's say you are creating an application with the REST API and you have to use Flask and you have to use, let's say, course, simply ask ChatGPT at that, hey dude, I'm creating an application using this. Just give me the code for course. It's uh, it's a few lines of code and it will just configure those permissions for you. Okay, so this is for fast API. If you try to use them in Flask, it won't work, obviously, because this is made for fast API. Okay, so let's get started with our fast API tutorial. It's already 11 a.m. Okay, let's get started. I will create a, let's go to our,
So
yes,
where does this
fast.
fast API or Flask comes after the API thing? Like where does it
The
connect and
thing is that, you know uh, like, let me if I talk about myself, I'm much more uh, comfortable using Flask rather than fast API or REST API. Is like REST API
no,
I
no.
can
What
use
I'm
with
asking is,
Flask as well.
what I'm
Yeah.
asking is, for example, API. You told that it's like it's kind of application program interface, and you are
Hmm.
like making HTTP requests for the data which you need. I'm asking
Yeah.
where, where does this part of Fast API and Flask fits in? Like
uh, like, if you're asking me that, like, where
like
this
preceding the
API.
so
Yeah,
following
please
the
speak up.
API thing, where does it fit
Yeah,
in? For example, like
following the API. So this is where we are creating APIs. So, like, we are not.
okay, we are
Yeah,
creating
so
our own
this is
APIs.
where creating APIs. Yeah, fast
Hmm.
API is a method to create APIs. Flask is a method to create APIs. REST API is a method to create APIs.
Okay,
Flask is actually much more. Flask actually allows you to create a backend, entire backend. So it's a, multi-purpose library. You can create a lot of things with Flask. Flask allows you to create APIs. It allows you to create an entire backend. Like, there is a whole lot of things with Flask. And when you go towards the big brother of Flask, which is called Django, so that's another. So that's uh, entire world of things that you can do with Django.
okay.
Okay.
Being said that,
Yeah.
do we need to know a little bit of Node.js as well in this?
Uh, I don't think so,
Okay, okay,
because whatever you are going to do can be done with Flask. There is no need for that. Okay.
okay,
I will be honest that I first of all I tried to solve this. There was a question back in, I guess, first assignment, where, no, this Versal one. So uh, we had to use something for the API part. Yeah, we had to use HTTPX, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, we had to use this particular line of code, but what I did was I just created using Flask. I did not bother using, learning this new library. I just created using Flask. So let's say you have got a new question in your TDS, let's say ROE or something, and you are required to create an API. So what I will suggest you, rather than focusing on everything, rather than focusing on fast API, Flask, and REST API and Vercel, you should focus on one thing. For instance, my focus is entirely on Flask. If I am tasked with creating an API, I will do it with Flask. That's the best way for me. Fast API, okay. If for the purpose of for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm teaching Flask API, but Fast API. But if I am tasked with creating an API, I will create it using Flask. So I would say, take one thing and just go ahead with that. Okay. So okay. So you have raised your hand. Please ask your question, Vikas Pandey. Mr. Vikas Pandey, please ask your question.
Yeah, actually, so I wanted to ask, how can I get the address? You told you just mentioned earlier, how we can get unanswer's address so we can put as a variable code.
For that, like, you have to create application without having anything related to cores, and then
Okay,
simply try running it, then go to console, because if you will run it without cores, it will give you an error. Go to console, then you can check where is, like, there would be an entire error containing that cores is not available, so this, and unanswers, that particular link would be available there, so you can just copy it from that. So it's like twisting your arm to reach something, something like that. Okay, so
that
yeah,
I
that's
just
the
wanted to verify it. Actually, I had that idea, but I thought it shouldn't be that simple, so I just thought to verify it from you.
way. That's
And
pretty simple, because
that
for
is
everything,
probably what that line that some say some questions are hackable. This is probably an example of that.
He
I
said
will
the
be
whole
honest
paper is
that
hackable. I think.
when I read that line in GA1, I guess it was in GA1, I tried to hack it. I tried to look, like, is there a bug in the
No,
in
no,
this
it's
entire page?
even trying to go through the error, right, and then figuring out this is the URL you need. It's kind of hacking, right? It's like, what is
Not
hacking?
hacking.
It's
I
like
won't say
trying
that's
to
hacking.
no hacking is what in terms of you're trying to solve something repeatedly, right?
Mhm.
And then there is a connotation key. It is related to cybersecurity in terms of you're trying to breach systems. Now that is obviously there, but also like you have hackathons. Are you hacking in hackathons? You are hacking, right? But in a separate way, in that kind of.
Well, when we are mentioning hacking, so out of context, so it would be understood in that way.
Yeah, that is why I explained. Because out of context, yes, it will be cybersecurity.
Okay, so if we have no questions further about this, let's move ahead with FastAPI. Okay,
So
so okay, all right. So what I did was I created a new environment. So that's something which I always do whenever I'm trying to start a new project. So that's the best policy. Always create a new environment. So uh, the error which Shruti was facing, I feel that that's something related to this. Uh, you have to create a environment, and then you should always create a requirements.txt file. So that's what I recommend. Okay, so I'll be creating a new virtual environment. I have done this before as well in live sessions, but if you don't know how to create a virtual environment, just pay attention. Okay, so for creating a virtual environment, simply write Python dash m VAENV stands for virtual environment. Okay, and then the name of your env. You can create it, you can put any name. I can even type in TDS, for instance, but I love this name of env. Simple and sweet. uh yeah, please ask your question.
So actually, there in a I saw in a YouTube video that the person was opened a directory which was his GitHub directory, and so like
Mhm.
in this case where it is showing e and then the whole path of your directory which is present in your system. But
Mhm.
in that video, it was showing GitHub's repository. Basically, it's his repository or the file that he had opened, and it was something like git dash this the repository name, and then the whole file type something.
But that would have been the git bash. He must have connected his GitHub entirely with his the
Bash.
git inside his machine. So that can be done. uh, I'll be honest, I don't know how to do that, how to entirely submerge your GitHub with your git. I will have to look into that. But yeah,
So
that can be done, that can be done using the git bash.
so
Okay.
what is more convenient? I think that would is that more convenient? Like you're directly integrating your GitHub and creating files there only, and then upgrading it. So that way it will save space from your local system also.
uh, I don't think that it will save system space of your local system, because you have to create files in the local system before pushing them to git.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so it won't save file, but I guess that it's something related to Like whenever some person is like running a specific task multiple times, then they must have incorporated Git with their entire system. I'm not much aware about that, but I know that it's pretty much possible using the Git command, using the Git bash. Okay,
And one
so
more thing, sorry, but I observed that you are not using UV for creating the virtual environment. So, is there any specific reason that you have switched to Python only, or is
well,
it just
UV won't be able to create this virtual environment if I'm not wrong, because this is a command which should be run with Python. UV is something which will allow you to run your it will allow you to run your Python files uh, without installing libraries. That's the one use case of UV which I have come across. But apart from that, I don't think that it's much more useful, in that it
I
won't be
think
much more,
I think
it
I
won't be
think
able to create it.
if you type uv dot when uv space dot when, then and the environment name, then it will also create an environment in this
Okay,
case.
okay. Yeah. What it was, UV?
Uv dot when.
Venv.
Yeah,
VNV.
yeah, when. Oh, sorry, vn.
Okay, okay, okay. Uh, all right, so that's news to me as well. That's pretty good.
I think
But
so. I think so.
I
You can do that. I'm not sure. Can you please run it? Like I tried it last time, so it did. I think.
I would try to run it in another folder because I'm
Yeah,
afraid that
that
it might
that
mess
would be
up
great.
with other things.
I'm sorry
Yeah,
to take your time. It's just I'm confused, so a little.
I should have simply used CMD. Okay, so it was UV
UV space
dot
dot when.
VNV.
Yeah, VNV. I'm sorry.
Okay, I have to create a new virtual environment. So I would have to create a new virtual environment to install UV, and
Uh,
that would come in a
that is not
whole.
that is not necessary. That is not sorry for the effort. Then yeah, you can continue. Sorry.
All right, all right. So, like UV is a good tool, but I would not use it much because it always creates problems with creating a requirements or TXT file. Uh, all
No,
right,
but
so
we can still install like uv dot install uv dot uv python pip dot install,
yeah,
and
that can be done. Yep,
and it
that can
works
be
faster
done.
than pip, in my opinion. Then
Yeah, it works faster than pip.
okay, okay, fine.
Okay. So the next step for, so as you can see that the virtual environment has been created. Now the next step is activating it. Okay. So how you can activate it? Simple. Type env, then press tab. Okay. So it will complete it for you. Then enter S, again tab, then A, again tab, and then PS1. So this is the exact command which you have to type it out. Okay. So you can simply type it out, or you can just enter the first letter of the uh, next uh, substring and then press tab, so it will just complete it for you. Okay, so this has activated my virtual environment for me. So what I will do is I will install few things, which is uh, pip install. I will install fast API, then I will install UV icon. So this is not UV which we were talking about. Okay, also I'll be installing pandas. Okay, why pandas? Because I would be using a CSV file, and I will be filtering out data using pandas. Okay, it's doing its thing. Let's wait for it. All right, I will create a new file. Okay, outside this, let's name it first .py. Okay, so it has installed everything which we need, and now I'll be importing uh, flask, oh sorry, uh, fast API. I will just copy code from my file. Okay, so this is the code. This is the this is how you import Flask. Also, there is one thing that whenever I'm trying to, you know, uh, whenever I'm trying to run fast API, my device always, starts to lag. I guess there is something involved with that, but let's I will check it once after this tutorial. Okay, so the rest of the procedure for creating a fast API, it's much more similar. Okay, uh, to Flask. Okay, so if you know about Flask, so it won't be much difficult for you to adjust with fast API. Okay, so I will just leave out this part because this is okay. Let's just copy it. Okay, so this is the part where we incorporate cores. We are actually giving permission to other sources to access our file. Okay, to access our connection. And so this is uh, the library. So this is the particular module that we are going to use for cores. Okay, and this is the command. And how did I, where did I found it? Chat GPT. I just simply wrote, just give me the cores code for FastAPI, and it just gave me. And the proof of that is these comments. No one write these. If there is comments in your uh, file, then either you are a really dedicated programmer, you like to comment everything, or you have just copied it from ChatGPT. So no shame in that. Okay, so let's move ahead, and let's go ahead with creating a new endpoint. Okay, so I will copy this. So what we are going to do is I will go back here, and where it is. Okay, I guess I would find it in my downloads page. Downloads, yeah. No, it's not here. Okay, so I actually got a file which contained few things about the cities. Okay, so it's not able to reach web page. Okay, this was something which I actually faced after running fast API in my device few hours later, few hours earlier as well. So I guess it's something related to fast API, or like it's a heavy module which is consuming a lot of my resources. Okay, let me find. I guess I pasted it somewhere like here. Okay, where it is? It's fast API. Okay, can't be reached. Okay. Hmm. Let me see if I have another data set with me. Then perhaps we can do it. Hmm. Let's see. Okay. While ranges. It's not working. Uh Unfortunately, I guess I lost that data somehow. Or is it on the desktop? I guess it's in the. It's not here as well. Okay. Hmm. We'll just copy it from here, and let's paste it here. Yeah, paste. Okay, so this is our entire so this is actually a machine learning data set which I had, and because I lost my data set, that's why I'm going to use this one. Okay, let's open it, and I will give you an overview of what we're going to do. It's entire that kind of data set. Hmm. Okay. Hmm, to try where it was. Okay. All right. Let's create our own data set because my machine has betrayed me somehow. Okay. I will create a new Excel file and I will name it, let's say, data, because why not? And let's open this. And the name, so let's say I will name it city. Okay. And then the population. So this was actually the data which I downloaded, but it somehow betrayed me. And I will write few cities, let's say Delhi, Chennai, Kolkata, and what can Mumbai. Can take foreign cities as well: Berlin, Frankfurt. It's Frankfurt. Okay, so these are the few cities. Let's enter some random numbers. Okay, so random numbers. So these are the populations of these cities. Let's say Tokyo as well, because why not? By the way, do you guys know that Tokyo is the number one city when it comes to population? It's highly populated city, more than Delhi. I guess Delhi comes in the second place. Okay, so this is our data prepared. I will save it as a CSV and then okay, save it as a CSV and okay, it's okay. Save it. All right, it's done. So we have a CSV file. As you can see, that this is the data.csv. And now let's go back to Flask. Oh, sorry, Fast. Okay, and our data is prepared. Now we can do some stuff with it. Okay, so I'll be creating a new endpoint. Okay, so the process of creating a new endpoint, it's fairly similar to Flask. Okay, the only difference is that we are adding this async keyword over here. So what does this async means? Async basically means that your this function would be running asynchronously. So what does asynchronously mean? You can just like, it means that multiple processes can run at a time, rather than it rather than focusing on each and every task for an entire duration. It will focus on every task. It's kind of like that. Okay, so you can just simply search what does asynchronous mean, or otherwise you can just ignore it. Okay, so it's we will add this async keyword right in front of this function. Okay, and now what I will do is, let me check if I am doing it right or not. Okay, so it's right. So one problem which I faced with uh, this this particular code. So in this Flask API, in this Fast API code that's given over here. So one problem which I faced was that whenever I was trying to reload stuff, so whenever I was making some changes, it wasn't reloading the entire server. It wasn't reloading the entire file. So that was one downside which I faced with. Perhaps it was my mistake, most probably, but then I just resorted to using some other way of running a fast API file. Okay, so okay, so this is done. Now how you can run this fast API file? For this you have to execute a certain command, which is uv icon. Okay, so this was, if you guys remember, that this is the library that we installed. Okay, uv icon, and then the name of your file, fast, and then app. So just you can just remember this: fast colon app. Okay, and then reload. Okay, so this is the way I used it. If you guys can find out another ways to run a fast API file, then we're just welcome to do that as well. Okay, I will run this, and it will start a server, and as you can see that obviously it's showing me not found, but when I will go to the API right over here, it's showing me hello world. Okay, so it works exactly like Flask. It will return whenever you're going to this particular endpoint. So this is an endpoint. If you're going to this particular endpoint, it will give you this. So it's going to return you this particular message. Okay, this is how it works. Now what we are going to do is, because we are asked to take parameters as well, so the way to take parameters in fast API is simply write the name of your parameter. Okay, uh, I will give it city. Okay, and then the type of the parameter you are using. Okay, so it's city and then str. Okay, so this is the type of the variable that we are going to use. Now you can simply pass it, and let's say instead of hello world, I want to say hello and then the city's name. Okay, this is the city. We'll save it, and I will pass it a city parameter. Let's say Delhi, and it's saying me, and it's greeting Delhi. Okay, you can change it to any other thing. It can be let's say Patna. It will work for Patna as well. Okay, it's also, if I just enter my name, it will work for my name as well. Okay, so this is how this works. This is taking a parameter right over here. This question mark means that you're passing a parameter, and then it's using that parameter for some stuff. Now the question which Shruti asked was that how can we use this, how can we use the class parameter over here. Okay, for instance, in TDS we are asked to pass parameters with the name of class, right? But the problem over here is, so this is the it should pass parameters with class name. Okay, so the problem with Python is that it won't allow you to use this variable name. Okay, because it's a keyword and it won't allow you. So how we can do this, let me head back to my code. Okay, so for that you have to have a different variable name. So I entered this variable, I will just zoom in once. Okay, so I entered this variable name of class name. So this is the variable name, and then what I did was I gave it an alias. So I will be explaining what does this mean. Oh, let me just explain this. Okay, so the thing is that whenever you are trying to pass multiple parameters with the same name, because in this question we are asked to it will give us multiple parameters. Can you see this, that it will pass multiple parameters. Yes. Okay, so it will pass multiple parameters with the same name, but the values will be different. So it will be class equal to this, then class equal to this. Then the problem arises is that it won't allow you to give this. It won't allow you to pass uh, multiple values for a same parameter. So for that purpose you have to use list. Okay, and for using list we have to import it from this typings uh, library. And how do I know this? Chat GPT, my friends. Simple. Okay, whenever you are stuck, use chat GPT, but also learn from this. Okay, so that's the one corollary. You should always learn from chat GPT whenever it gives you an answer. Okay, so you have to import this, and then you have to use this list over here, and then we are using this query. So this query basically it's acting like it will take you know all these strings that we are passing, and then it will club it into one list. Okay, and this default it basically means that whenever like for instance, if you haven't passed any parameter, then it will take this as a default. It will take default by default a list, an empty list. Okay, and alias, basically alias means that you are giving it uh, another name. Okay, so the name of the variable is class name, but we can use class, the class parameter, using this alias. Okay, so that's the way of using it. All right, so let's head back to our code, because okay, so I will enter the variable which is city. Now what we're going to do is we'll be using pandas. Okay, because now you saw that we are able to use this city, whatever parameter the user passes, we can use it. Okay, so we are able to use it. What else remains? Simply filtering out the data from this particular file. Okay, and how we will do this? Simple. Simple, just import this data set into your file using pandas. So uh, let's import it. Okay, I will name it data and pd dot. uh, okay, so I'll be asking you guys for this. Okay, it has given me the answer. All right, so I thought I will be asking you about what should come next, but it actually uh, completed it for me. Okay, so it has given me this data. If I try to print it, you can see that this data is working. I will just rerun it once again, and you can see that it has printed that entire data which was in the CSV file, right? So we are able to access this data from this Python file, and now we can use it. Okay, so uh, I will be performing few functions. Okay, so any one of you tell me, how can I filter this data? How can I filter? Let's say if I passed the parameter as Delhi, how can it filter it? What's the code for it? Just tell me that. Anyone?
It's a data frame, so you can just like do those like data and then square brackets and then you can.
All right. Anyone else other than Ritvik? Anyone else? All right. So I'll be telling you how to do this. So I guess that most of you guys are not much familiar with pandas, and I guess that's a gap we TA should bridge as well. So perhaps we should have an entire dedicated session to pandas sometime, uh, or we can create a session, an entire tutorial for pandas, and upload it to our weekly content. Okay, so we'll look into that, and yeah, so Ritvik
Check
has
out the
shared
cheat sheet which I've shared. Yeah.
yeah, he has shared some resources for pandas. Okay, so I'll be going ahead with just fetching out the data. So what we're trying to do is we will be returning the city name and the population associated with this. Okay, so I will be okay, so what I will do is I will create a new variable. Let's say population. So this is our new variable, and what I will do is I will, okay, so it has completed this code for me. All right, no need to write it. So this is actually filtering. So this is actually how we are filtering out data from this data frame, from this table. I'm not using the word data frame, it's a table. Okay, so it will filter it out and give the answer. So that's one plus point of using Codium or GitHub Copilot. So it always helps you guys. Okay,
Can we
so
use
if
query
I
function also? Sorry to interrupt, but can we use
yeah,
query function also?
yeah, absolutely, we can use query function as well. Like
Like, can you
there,
show the I've not used query function, but I've seen it somewhere.
in fact,
Just
I
please.
haven't used query function myself. So I use it very less, but yeah, there is a function. So okay, so it's working like this. I guess this should work. uh, Let me just comment it out. I will duplicate it and comment it out once, and then we can run this. Okay, so let's rerun this with the name of a city. Okay, okay, it has given me something. Okay, city is not defined. I guess it should be city. Okay, so the name is city. Okay, okay, okay. This should, once again, just give me, okay, city is not defined somehow. Okay, so the problem is here. I was making changes there. Okay, let's rerun this. All right, so query function is working as well. So we have got the entire
Nice.
the row where the city was there. Okay, so what we can do is we can simply extract the population using this. Okay, let's see. So it's working. Yeah, it's working perfectly fine. So it has returned me the population of Delhi. Okay, So this was using pandas, and pandas actually, it's used for data. So I've just zoomed in for you guys. Okay. So this is how it actually works for pandas. Yeah, please ask your question.
So do we need to mention values, square bracket zero, values zero? I mean, if we are mentioning population only, so it should give the population in that sense.
The thing is, yeah, that's a very good question. The thing is that if you are just using this, it will return a series. Okay, so this is another term, another pandas term. It will return a series to you. Okay, can you see this?
It's just a column.
This won't give you the exact value. This
Okay,
will
yeah,
give you the
fine.
series. Okay, so from this particular column, so series are like columns. Okay, so from this particular column we have to extract the zeroth value. Can you see this?
Yes,
Can
yes,
you see
I can
this?
see this. I can see
So
this.
we have to, we have to extract the values. So what will values do? It will return you this.
Return the values.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, it will return you this. If I rerun this, okay, so it has returned me this now, because this was the first value, and then I will be extracting the zeroth element from it. Okay, and this is how we will get uh, the exact value. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is how this works. So I'll be using this query. Why not? Okay, so what I will do is, now I will return it in this API, and it won't be hello again. It should be the name of the city. Okay, so this works exactly like a Python dictionary. Yeah, it has completed it for me. We'll comment it out, or I should just remove it. Okay, and now if I will try to run this, all right. So what's the problem? Okay, uh, it's not iterable. Okay, let me check. Okay. Got it. So actually, it's returning a numpy array. This should work. Does it work? It's not working as intended. Let's check what's the problem. The problem is with this population uh, variable.
It was returning something in bracket, right? So you probably have to.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so now it's returning
Now
nothing.
it's good, right?
Let's see. Okay, numpy. Okay. It's returning a numpy array somehow. Uh, what we can do is convert it to a integer, perhaps.
Oh, we could do that.
All right,
Yeah,
it's working
it
perfectly.
works.
So we
Yeah.
had to convert it to an integer. So actually, it was returning a numpy object instead of an integer. So that's why we have, so numpy and all these are, more data pre-processing terms. So numpy is an library which is used for data pre-processing and other stuff, but you need not worry with this. Okay, so we are successfully able to do this. And if I, let's say, if I type in Tokyo, so it will give me the entire population of Tokyo. Okay, so this is how your fast API will work. And yeah, so one more thing, uh, what I did was, so I created this code, and I okay, let's forget about it. All right, okay, so this is how you can create a fast API. And you can actually use Python, and you can actually use pandas to, filter out the data, because in the question we have been given this CSV file, right?
You can even do it
So
for JSON and all the files.
yeah, for JSON as well, of course, we can, instead of, writing read CSV, we can do read JSON as well. So that's another way to, import JSON files. Also, kindly let us know that if you guys want a pandas exclusive tutorial or a pandas exclusive session, kindly let us know. Create a discourse post, or, just let us know somehow. You guys know your ways. Let us know if you want any exclusively a pandas session. where we can explain you all the uh, dynamics of pandas. Okay, so this was it for fast API, and this concludes my part of this session. I seriously thought that it would take around 45 to 30 minutes, but you know, uh, it took way more than that. So, Jivraj, please take over. By the way, any questions in Fast API? Yeah, please ask a question.
So,
Someone raised. Someone
in
raised.
Fast API, just in the question 9, we have to use class as a variable name.
Yeah,
So how can we do that? In this,
I just explained that moments ago. I guess you were not present in the
okay,
meeting.
sir. So, sir, we can add a class as a population class as in data query,
Let me
data
show
dot
you
query.
what I did. I will just copy it. Okay, so
So
this
sorry,
is
but
uh,
the MLT class is also running in this time period. So
yeah,
that's
yeah, we know.
I want to ask some queries in that class also. That's why I'm switching over two classes.
Yeah, it must be hard for you. I can totally understand. And we were discussing about how about shifting the time of TDS sessions because it's clashing with MLT. We know about that, and perhaps we will find a solution for that as well. So
MLT is the
how
toughest subject in diploma.
MLT? No, I won't say it's PDS. At least for me.
Yeah,
TDS.
that's what I heard. That
Huh.
TDS is the toughest.
TDS is also
Not
difficult, but
TDS.
actually,
I was
sir,
saying PDS.
Achha,
PDSA was also
TDS has
tough.
become that TDS has become a very tough subject because back in my day, 2 terms back, it was not this difficult. They have raised the level quite a bit, and I would be completely honest. So, back in my day, it was a little bit easier than it's going right now.
I
But
got
obviously, it will enhance your knowledge about each and every tools.
when I got the mail, the first line was, "This course is really hard," and I was like, "Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
if
it
it is
was. It was.
beginning with
It,
that,
it,
then yeah."
it was a line in my for my time as well, so I saw that line. And because I will be honest, I'm from a technical background. I know a lot of stuff in technical, so it was quite easy for me to get around TDS. But I completely understand people who are not from this
Tech
background,
background.
from technical background. They have to bridge this gap because in TDS we aim to prepare you guys for the industry. We aim to prepare you guys to know a bunch of stuff, know a bunch of tools you can use. So yeah, so
Actually, I would like industry in like I don't want to comment on that one. But the
okay.
thing is, like, it will get you accustomed to that, but getting prepared for the industry because industry doesn't allow you to make HTTP requests to other like the data is coming from within. That's an enclosed apartment.
Anand,
Hmm.
actually today I was planning to create a automated order processing system. So what it does actually, it will take input from you, I mean the user, in English or Hindi or some speech, I mean via some uh, verbal communication, and then what it would do, it can place orders on behalf of you, and it can even update orders on behalf of you, and that too using function calling. So
Okay, that depends. Like just I said, didn't wanted to bring that point, but it depends upon industry to industry. Like, so that's the thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Because uh, okay, so I will comment on that a bit later. First, I should resolve Shruti's doubt. Okay, because also because she's toggling from MLT to TDS. So Shruti, the way you will do this is by using. So you have to create a new variable. So the variable name should be it can be anything. I just put it class name. Okay, this is the variable. Then you should know about this list and query, and what we are doing is The only difference is that we are using an alias over here. Okay, so what does an alias mean? Alias actually means that it's a false name. Okay, so we are assigning a false name to this variable. Okay, and we'll be using this. So I just assigned this class name to this particular variable. So whenever I'm trying to run a parameter using class, I can do that easily. Okay, so this is a false name that we assign to it. Okay, so this is how you are going to solve it. Is that clear?
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir,
Okay.
also my doubt is in question 6 also, that you said that you can take the last of the class. So can you take it now, or I should wait for more time?
Shruti, we can do one thing. Uh, because that will consume a lot of time. Perhaps it will consume a lot of time, and a lot of people here, they want to get through with questions. We can do one thing. We can arrange a special meeting with you, perhaps, and then we can solve that question. I will also look into your file once. Okay. uh, you can share me that file on discourse, or you can email me that your entire folder. I will just look into it, what's going wrong, and then I can tell you what's the problem. Then we can have a meeting and I can explain you what was wrong or not. Okay, so just mail me that folder, and I will look
Sir,
into it.
can you share me your email ID? Actually, on TDS, only Kartalson and Jivraj sir email ID was there.
Yeah. So yeah, that's something we have to change as well. They have to add me as well. So this is my roll number. Just add it in front of, just add the suffix of, uh, I've shared my roll number in the chat. You can just add the suffix that's common for every BS student.
Okay, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, all right. Okay, so Jivraj, kindly take over.
Sharansh, I think it will take a lot of time to do a session on function calling. So,
How about those vectors database? Something smaller.
okay, that we can do, but that was not part of um,
Today's agenda.
yes, but we can do
We
that.
can we
I
can
mean,
go ahead.
I
Yeah.
can
So
edit the
it's
agenda
it's
later on.
it's not like it's not like written in stone. uh, it's not like in Hindi we say patthar ki lakir. So we can do that. Yeah, it will just complete one more topic while we have the time, right?
Yeah,
So
sure.
all right, so kindly take over. I will be tending to my some task. Okay, fine.
Saransh, hello.
Yeah.
Can you guys organize another session, like place another session between today and Feb 5, so that we can like discuss it for before graded assignment three's deadline? Sorry, three's deadline. Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah,
we are
we
planning to have a session on uh, Friday and Saturday as well.
yeah.
Tomorrow and day after tomorrow. That would be
Yeah,
great.
Yeah,
That would
on
be great.
yes, yes.
Friday the session is on the same time, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. And on Saturday it's from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Okay, so it's a morning session
Oh God.
Yeah,
on
actually,
on
it's been
Friday.
updated in calendar as well.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. I'll have to see. Check it.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So, anyone knows what are function? Sorry, basically, what I'm trying. Embeddings. Hello.
Embeddings in a vector database. Huh?
Yes, yes. In context of vector database.
numerical representations of basically data in some kind of space, which having multiple dimensions. Like in the case of LLMs, they are having billions of parameters or dimensions, and they kind of plot things in that space basis of those parameters,
Yeah.
something like that. And those are embeddings.
Yes. So you are correct. Wait a second. I'm starting up some application. Okay. So
So can we create LLM applications over Google Colab also?
mm, not exactly, but we can actually make API calls and we can get embeddings for words.
Okay.
For example, let us say we have a word and that word might be, let me call it Anand. And
And sorry for interrupting again, but is Hugging Face also part of TDS course this term?
Hugging Face is, I think it's been removed or something.
Why so?
Let me check if it is past. So basically on Hugging Face, what we have some models, and then we have some data sets, and we also have some tokenizers that we can make use of it. I don't know why did they I think the reason behind it getting removed is because it would be too heavy for TDS, I think.
Acha. Okay. Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
that's understandable. In a way.
Okay, so let us see if this is a word, and now um, actually this is written in some string format, but the machine and let us say I have an objective. Let us say I have two words. One is this word, and then there might be some other word. It can be cycle or something. Okay, let's take two related words. Um, One is bicycle, and then the other word is, so let me call it word one, and then the other word might be word two, which is basically cycle. So we know that these two words are very related to each other. And let us say if I have third word, apple or something. So this is not much related with these two words. So we can say that these two words, bicycle and cycle, they are related in some sense. For example, bicycle also have two wheels and they also have steering, and those properties matches. So they have common properties. But this is something that a machine needs to tell us. Okay, so if I just give a random word to machine, then it should tell me which two words are more related. If I give multiple words, for example, if I give four or five different words, so the way it cannot actually compare these two words, right? Because they are in string format. So what happens? We actually store the embeddings. So embeddings are basically vector representation of a word. For example, if this bicycle word, if you want to store it in some vector format that have just zeros, ones, or some numbers. Okay, so this is how you can store, and it can be of this vector can be of dimension 512 cross 1, or it can even be of size 256 cross 1. It can be anything, right? So this is how you we basically compute we store words as an embedding. So this cycle word, it will also have some embedding representation. So it will also be a 512 cross 1 vector, and it might have one at the first place and then one at the second place, and so on. And the task that we are trying to do is we want to capture the similarity between these two words. So the way to do that is we just compute the dot product. So how dot product is defined? Um, one would like to answer how dot product is defined? Okay. Mm.
Element wise, kind of.
Sir, it's simply element-wise product of the vectors.
A
Yes.
transpose A, I guess. I mean,
Um,
A
actually,
transpose.
I don't exactly remember if it is W1 dot W2 transpose. So this is basically 512 cross 1. So I think this is transpose, and here we have uh, that vector itself. I think this is the correct representation. So what it does actually, this is first element of this particular vector, and this is first element of this particular word, this particular cycle. So both of
Exactly.
them, it will just multiply both of them, and then what it will do, it will add. So this is second element and this is second element, so it will also multiply these two elements. It will do the element wise multiplication, and then it will add all of them, and that is something we called dot product.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Sakshi. Any doubt? Okay. So basically this is called dot product, and what does this represent? Let us say we have this word bicycle, and then we have this another word cycle. So these are two related things to one another, right? Because they have two wheels, and then they also got a steering, and in that sense these two words are related. If there are two words which are related with each other, then this dot product would be higher. Basically, not this dot product, there is something called um, cosine similarity. So what is cosine similarity? We have got this dot product, right? And then it will be just the division of norm of each one of them. So I will just divide with few numbers, and then I will also divide it with W2, and this way we can calculate cosine similarity, and this will tell us how these two words are related. So if the word is bicycle and cycle, and in that case this cosine similarity would be higher, instead of if you have two words bicycle and the other word, let's call it apple or something. So they are not very much related with each other. So if we calculate cosine similarity between these two words, then it should be lesser than bicycle and cycle. This is exactly how computer used to store these information. So now what I will do, I will just go to Colab, and I will first check if I have all these secrets. Yes, so the secret is in here. So this is just the OpenAI API key that I have got from Anand sir's proxy. I won't be logging in because then I would just reveal my secret. Okay. So now what I will do, I will import requests, and then I will also what all I have to import. I think this is the only one that I have to import. And then now what I will do, I will go to I will send a request to get the embeddings of a particular word. So for that I will need this particular URL, and let me assign URL is equal to this, and okay, this is okay. And then we also need some headers. So I will just copy paste headers from some other file that I already have. So in headers, we are actually giving, for authentication purpose, we are giving away our um, OpenAI key. So I will just copy this particular code and then I will assign API underscore key to it. And name of the secret would be this. And now I will just run this particular cell. Okay, yeah, grant access. So now I have assigned the token with API underscore key. So now I will just create headers. And in order to make a request, what all we need headers, and then we also need something in JSON body. So I will do that part now. Basically, if address. JSON underscore data, and this JSON data, this would actually have the input word for which we want to calculate the embeddings. So I will just first provide the name of the model that I want to use. And here what we will be using text embedding a small 3 small model that will give us the embeddings of a particular word. And I will go here, and then I want embeddings for what would be the input word. It will be, let's first get embeddings for bicycle, CYCLE. Okay, now what I will do, I will just make a request to OpenAI. So URL is equal to URL, headers is equal to headers, and then we also need to pass another key, that is JSON, to pass this JSON data object, and I will store the response in R variable, or I will just call it response. And let's wait for it to response. Now I will just print the response. Okay, this says 200. That means there was no error while making the request. And here we are getting few numbers. So here this is just an this is what the response that we got from OpenAI, and it have got this particular key which have a list, and this list contains these numbers. Okay, so now what I will do, I will just store these embeddings. We just call them embeddings in some variable. So the way to get it is within data. Is it within data? I think it is within data. I want to get
Then embeddings.
yeah, within data we want to get the 0th index that have embeddings, I guess, and then that must have embeddings. Let me just check. Yeah, so this is embedding of bicycle word. This is what I was talking about, the vector or mathematical representation of a particular word, and this need not to be a single word. It can be multiple words can be there, and it can even be a whole document or sentence. Not sentence, what we call paragraph. I will just, I think I will assign it as in bicycle embeddings. EMBDDINGS. And now what I will do, I will send one more request to same URL, but this time I will change this bicycle to cycle, let us see. And let me run this. Let me run this. And I will store it in cycle embedding. And now what I want to do, now I have got these two vectors, W1 and W2. Now I want to calculate the dot product. So for that, I think I need to import numpy as np, and then is it np dot dot? I'm not exactly sure about it. I will pass these two parameters. Okay, yeah, so that is correct. What is that? This is the dot product between these two words, cycle and bicycle. Now let me also uh, get the dot product between these two words. Actually, for this particular the OpenAI, how it sends embeddings, I think it is normalized. So now if I just try to find the norm of bicycle embedding, I think it would be 1. Or is it np dot? I don't remember. Numpy norm of a vector. Okay, this is the one that I need to use. And let's just remove these things. Okay, so it gets this is basically just one. If we just approximate it, it have 8 or 7 number of zeros, so it is 1. And even if you look for cycle embedding, this is also 1. And since they're what we call norms are 1, that means we don't actually have to divide it. So this cosine similarity is exactly dot product. So in OpenAI's, whenever you request for some embeddings, it will return normalized vector. So I will just assign it to cosine similarity, RITY. And now what I will do, I will compute similarity between so I will first have to get embeddings for Apple, and now I will make a request. And now I will store these embeddings in Apple embedding maybe. And now let's calculate the cosine similarity between these two words. So let's calculate it between bicycle and Apple embedding. And oh shit, I have overridden this particular variable. Actually, I wanted to compare these two. So let's call this something else. Underscore bicycle underscore cycle. This is just a way. Yes, Anand. Wait a second, I will take your doubt. First, let me complete it. So instead of bicycle cycle, it is bicycle, and then is it? This is Apple, okay, and then this should be Apple embeddings. Did I run this? I don't remember. So let me run it again, and I will run this again. So now I will print both of them, and actually instead of printing them, I will just put a greater than symbol over here, and then I will just check if the cosine similarity between bicycle and cycle is higher than cosine similarity between bicycle and apple, and which is correct. Now let's actually have a look at what are those two embeddings. So this is the result that we got. So these two words are highly related to one another, bicycle and cycle, and these two words are not much related to them each other. So this is way to compare two words if they are similar, or two documents as well. We can have one paragraph and then we can have another paragraph, and then we can check if those two paragraphs are related to each other. So yes, Anand, sorry, Vikas or Anand.
Mr. Vikas, if you want to go forward, you can. I'll go after you.
No, Anand. No, Anand, you can go. I'll go after you. I have
Okay.
actually 4 5 doubts. So
Okay. So, like this is the request we are making to an a LLM. If
Yeah,
I'm
two LLM. Yeah,
okay, and this embedding thing is how to find the similarity between two words.
it can be two words or two paragraphs or two documents.
Okay. And this is how we will be interacting with LLMs.
Yeah, so we will be getting the embeddings from OpenAI, and then we will try to compute the cosine similarity between them.
Okay. So like embedding, are there other like like I'm talking about the purpose. For example, you're finding a similarity between two words. Are there other things as well, like doing some other stuffs?
Other stuff.
Like embedding is just the bigger purpose, I think. Like the embedding is one of the purpose where we are finding a similarity between two words. Like is it one of the task, or is it the task before, like the step?
Actually, this is the way to compare if they are. I'm not aware about if there are some other way to compare two words
No,
mathematically.
no, no, no. I'm asking, is this one of the tasks? Like, for example, one task is comparing two words, the other task will be something else, third task will be something else, or this is one of the step in finding in reaching a bigger goal.
Okay. I think this is one of the step that you might have to do for reaching a uh, bigger goal. Let me just show an example that is part of project one. I think activity 9, A9 or some one of them have this thing. Let me just look at it. Okay. Yeah, this is the one. So this particular file have got list of comments. Let us. It might be some. Okay. For example, we have Amazon, and on that we might have a lot of products. And let us say we have got one thread. And let us say someone says this product is not good, and then somebody else says this product is good. And let us say there are 4 or 5 comments which says this product is good, or for some reason let us say we want to actually calculate the similarity between those two comments that are there on Amazon or somewhere.
Okay. So it handles, like, this particular embedding handles the product review, what people are
Actually,
saying. Like, not only restricted to Amazon, any of the companies who want to check what the customer is saying about their product, kind of product.
mm, not exactly. This embedding will just tell if two things are how similar they are with each other, but company might be interested in checking the sentiment of the sentence. So by sentiment I mean whether if this person is talking about it in a positive sense or negative sense. I think we have one example of sentiment in GA3. Yes, the first one. So here, what is Haiku programming? Actually, basically what we used to do in this sentiment analysis, we will just give one sentence to LLM, and then it would tell us whether the sentence is positive or negative. The purpose of embedding is just to get the similarity between two words. This is just a vector representation of words, and if there are two words that are related with one another, then it would tell us how correlated they are.
Okay, okay, okay. I'll like more.
Does it answer your question?
Yeah, yeah, more things will be get cleared out when we will move forward. Like I'll just follow you. Okay.
Okay. Uh, who was the other? Vikas? Was it Vikas? Okay. Does anyone have any doubt on embeddings and the similarity between two vectors? Hi, Vikas. You can ask your doubt now. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Vikas. Go
Sorry,
ahead.
my mic was on mute. So my first doubt is actually, can we use HTTP IE for instead of requests uh, for like making requests to the URL or to the web?
Yeah, that we can do. We can just change it to HTTPX, or what was that? HTTPI or X?
HTTP IE. It was, I think so.
Is it?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure about HTTPIE. Was it HTTPIE? Let me have a look at it.
Yeah, in the graded assignment one, it was the question that to call UV HTTP, then I think
Mm,
HTTP HTTP bin with HTTP then HTTPS, then the whole address HTTP bin, something like that.
yeah,
Graded.
yeah. I think it was one of HTTPIE or HTTPX. I'm not aware about that, so I will just check once. It's HTTPX.
Okay, no, no. The in the question, can you scroll down to the question? See,
Mhm.
with HTTP.
Okay, okay. I think HTTPIE is not in Python module. I think it's a command line tool. Actually, I never used it, so let me just have a look at it. HTTPS,
I used
HTTPS.
in Linux, so like WSL.
Okay. Ritvik, you used it, right?
I think I used. Let me see. Which this is assignment one, no?
Yeah.
Like, what did I do there?
I think
Which
even if it should not matter much because this is just a different library that allows you to make requests.
yes.
No, actually, I wanted to ask now if HTTPI also works, then how can we use it to make requests? Uh, because like most
it
of the most of the things mentioned in this term in this TDS course are l- very latest technologies techs that are really gaining momentum as we are in the past year that have been gaining momentum like UV is becoming like many people are speaking about UV becoming the next package. Similarly, HTTP is a great package also people are calling. I think so.
okay, okay, so I think this is similar. So this is response get and then HTTPS. Okay, so what we have in HTTPIE, there are multiple functions that are defined. So for example, right now what we are doing, we are making a request using request a library, and we are making a post request on this particular URL, and then we are also providing these headers, and some data is also flowing. So the same thing we can do here with HTTPIE. We can actually import the method that we want to use. So there are four methods: get, post, put, and delete, and there might be some other methods as well. So here what we are doing, we are using a post request, and this particular uh, URL. So let me just try if this works, and I will just put it here, and then what I will do, I will in
So
front
I
of
will change the
this.
URL, I guess.
Oh yeah, I will change the URL. JSON underscore data. I don't know how it will accept headers, so I can ask GPT, how do I pass headers here? Okay, okay, it already provided a code for adding headers. Oh, let me stop generating. So I think have headers keyword. Okay, that is same as request, headers, and then headers will have headers, and this I will have to first import HTTP
From
response.
HTTPI import post, I guess.
Yes, and before that I will also have to install it. So I will just do that.
So, Jivraj, can we just import HTTPIE as something and then use that dot post dot get type functions also?
Post from HTTPI. I think yes, you can use. Okay, let me have a look at what is there in HTTPI. Oh, what happened? Just import HTTPI. This doesn't have that. Okay. Hmm, I think GPT is just giving us wrong information. Actually, this is
No,
not
no,
the correct
it's
way.
right. It's right. Actually, in the HTTPI over actual documentation, also there are 4 5 methods mentioned, which
And
is
is this correct way of importing them and using?
no that I'm not very sure. I would have to check it again. But get and put are definitely there. Get and pull, put or pull essentially.
Okay, can you send? Uh,
This is only that. Yeah, documentation dot.
uh, this is CLI documentation. This is called, and I don't know how they are using Python way of it. Mm, is it Unix or something? Homebrew install. Oh, did you? see if there is some example that uses Python.
No, actually, I was not able to find so I thought if it is actually possible, then I should ask in somewhere.
Okay. Choco install HTTP homebrew pip. I don't think it will make any difference. I think it's a command line tool. Even if you install using uh, pip, for example, if you install UV using pip, so actually, UV have the way to install it using pip. So this, I think, this is the way you can install UV using pip. And after installing UV using pip, again, you
I
would have
also
to
use pip,
execute it
pip
from,
install UV only.
yeah,
I also
and
use
then
pip install UV and it worked properly.
yes, yes, yes. So actually, we don't import this particular package in some uh, file. What we used to do, we used to run commands like uv run and then name of the file. So I think same way this HTTP IE is an um, command line tool. Oh, okay, this is something that is there. Okay, let me try this. Actually, I'm not sure if this would work because this is also generated by uh,
GPT, yeah,
GPT
exactly.
only. So I don't trust it, but we
Now
can
I,
try.
now I seriously don't, because the answer it generated was really genuine, and now it is just completely fake.
So I don't think this would work. And I think it doesn't even have core, something like that. Oh, but we are able to import it. Mm, Actually, see, even if we install this also at the background, it uses this request library only.
Oh, is it so? Okay, yeah, I can see. Sorry, I missed it.
For now, I don't actually know how we can use HTTP IE. There are multiple ways you can send requests. So the basics of sending a request to some URL is you tell which method you're gonna use, and then the URL, and then in headers you pass something, and then the actual data that you want to pass.
Yeah, actually, I tried. I I mean, the JSON question I did it with requests only, but then I was trying it with HTTP IE also, but I could not find a way to properly call HTTP IE. So I thought I should ask you guys.
Uh, okay. You mentioned you have 4 or 5 different questions. Can you ask
Other
the other
questions?
question?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I wanted to shift to other question only.
Yeah, actually, I don't know how to use this particular thing. Maybe it is possible to use it in Python, but I don't actually know how
Okay,
we
no
can.
problem, no problem. Maybe request is better, maybe then, because if it is complicated, then it's not a good tool, definitely.
Yeah, yes, and at the end, it is also using request module only.
Yes. So my next question was, can we use wrongly spelled words and get embeddings for them also? Like for bicycle, can we write like BYCYCLE type something?
We can try. Yeah, it would work. BICICLE, right?
Something like that. Any wrong word, but similar to bicycle.
Okay. Let us send a request, and I will store it in. So this is a bicycle, so I will store it in bicycle and embedding. Okay. Yeah, we have got the embeddings. CLE embeddings. See, we can get embedding for any random word, even if it is
And
not.
now,
It doesn't make any
if
sense.
we find like a similarity between bicycle and actual word bicycles, and then it would be closer to 100%, like 80-90%, maybe.
Okay, okay. Yeah, it must be. You c- Mm, I have. overridden this particular variable, so I don't have
So you
any.
can use it on cycle embedding also with
Yeah,
cycle.
sure. We can do that. Where is this is the code that I need to run, and now let's run this. Yeah, so earlier it was 0.48 or something. Now it is 0.47 or something.
No, but if you change the name of cycle embedding in the cycle embedding, you put like in cycle embedding we have put cycle. So instead, if you put bicycle, actual word bicycle, and then we try to find.
Okay, let's try that, and I will now store it in cycle embedding. So, okay, let's calculate this.
Say,
That is because
I think you didn't run the JSON or the embedding.
I don't know if I didn't run it. Yeah, they are indeed two very much related words. They are 100% related.
100% related. Uh, And my next question was, why are these vectors so the embedding so long? So like it's just a word. So why is the vector embedding so long? So in case of paragraph, it must be like thousands and thousands of variables. A thousand
No. It won't be actually. Right
or
now we are getting embeddings from OpenAI, right?
yes,
We will always get embeddings in same length. So even if you, this is some 1536 numbers it is using to represent bicycle word, and it
just
will
one
use this.
word exactly. So
Yeah,
what are the variables? Like is it coding every alphabet, or is it finding its distance from all kind of words that exist in its database in its space?
no. Basically, this is the dimension that it uses to represent a particular word. And if I believe if the dimension is high, then it is better representation. But then if you store so many dimensions, then it will be hard to. Uh, I mean, there is some cost to it. For example, you need to store more numbers, then you would need more storage. But if the more embeddings are there, then it is better. So embeddings, you can think of them as in some. So for example, we have a vector space that is 3D. Instead of representing a word in 3D, we are representing it in this particular dimension.
1536 dimension. Cool.
Yeah, it's
So that is
basically
the
a
thing, na?
vector.
Like it must involve bicycle, then the shape of bicycle, or what is
Yes. Actually, these are different features of this particular word.
features of bicycle? Actually, yeah, features.
Yeah. So there are 1536 features. One might represent some shape or something. So there are multiple features to it.
And does it involve SVD also? Like it must be doing SVD also. Like they must have
Just
lots of
one
parameters,
thing
and then
on
they must be
the
decomposing it into
HTTP PI question.
Okay. Yeah, Ritvik. Your voice is breaking, but yeah. Hello. Basically, Vikas, I don't
yeah.
exactly know which algorithm they are using to calculate the embeddings.
On the
Um,
HTTP PI
and actually, that
question.
is not. Yeah.
So the
Your voice is breaking a lot, Ritvik.
HTTP PI.
Ritvik, your voice is breaking a lot. We could not actually hear what you are trying to say.
You can use chat also, as
HTTP
Ritvik,
thing,
and
right?
send us some links or something.
Hello.
Okay, Vikas.
Yeah. So
Actually, learning about the algorithm that OpenAI is using to calculate these embeddings is not relevant for us.
yeah,
We
I
can do
thought.
a Google search. OpenAI embedding calculation algorithm or something. Data using OpenAI step by step calculating tokens.
Jivraj,
Yes, yes.
we can also do one thing. Rather than searching it for Google, we can
Ask
ask
LLM.
ChatGPT.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
How?
Also we can ask it for completions uh, from our Python file instead of typing it on ChatGPT.
Yes.
Completions for Python file. I mean, I could not understand.
Uh,
Completions API.
I meant that instead of asking it on ChatGPT, we can ask it through Python as well. It would be
Oh,
like
okay. Gemini, right?
no, through Python. Yeah,
Okay, got it. Okay.
and not Gemini. Actually, I was talking about like there is we are using embeddings here. So there is also one more thing of called completions. If I'm not wrong, uh,
Okay.
you can ask question. You can just chat with ChatGPT uh, uh, using that. I guess
Yeah, completions
if that's
API and
possible, we
assistant
can do
API.
that.
Completion API, assistant API, and then there is a few other things in ChatGPT. Really complex stuff.
Otherwise, you can just simply search on ChatGPT. That's much more easier to do.
Hmm. Yeah, actually, you can take help from GPT to explain exactly how they are calculating these embeddings, and um, you can ask that. Actually, what happens? They have a big database, for example. Uh, so this is one particular database, and what it have embeddings for every single possible word. So it have embedding for cat, and then in the next row it have embedding for dog, and then in some other row it might have embedding for elephant, and like that it's a massive database. Some millions or billions of rows are there in this particular database, and this is how I mean, and then it can actually do some search through this particular database. For example, if you want to look for let us say if you have some other word that is not part of it, let us say it is kitten or something else, and then you want to look for which for this particular word, which of them are more related. So actually you can actually scan through this whole database, and then you can figure out that kitten is the so cat is the most related word with kitten. So actually we also have a question related to it. I think question 7 or something. So maybe
Question 9. Question 9. A9.
question, okay, question 9. No, in GA also we have a question. Why is it this question? I don't exactly remember.
Okay, not yeah. Project one more project.
Okay, yeah, this is the question. So here you have got three three different documents. For example, these are the three different documents. Documents you can think of them some paragraph or some words or something, and then this is query parameter. So now the purpose is you have to actually figure out which word is related to. I mean, these are three different words. One could be cat, could be dog, and then other could be elephant, and then this word could be kitten or something, and then you would have to figure out this query word is which of them relates more to it. For example, this cat is the one word that is more related to it. So the way to do it is using this embeddings thing. So you would have to figure out embedding for each one of
So
them.
my last question was that only. How can we pass, like in this question, in the previous question, in your example,
Yeah.
You passed one word in the JSON file and then requested its embedding. So
Mhm.
can we pass multiple words at the same time and get their embeddings separately?
Okay. Yeah. I think this is the way you can pass multiple words. Let's just check once. I think this should get us two different vectors. I will just print response.json. Hmm, okay, this is very long.
Just check the length of this response. It should be two.
MPEDDINGS. Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. So what I will do, I will copy this stuff from here, and then I will just paste it over here. And does it have embedding? Okay, yeah, I think this should have two elements. No. I think
It has, uh,
this is one embedding, and then I think the other
yeah,
embedding might have this other.
yeah. We should change this para. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So if you just look at response.json, okay. So it's a list. I think the first embedding is for bicycle, and then the second embedding is for cycle. And
Mhm.
yeah,
So can we get the
Uh,
names of the word and then their embedding separately in the JSON only? Just a separate question, like we could figure it out also, maybe.
no, it won't actually get you the name of the embedding. I think it will just get you. So for first, so for zeroth index, it will store embeddings for bicycle, and then for first index, it would store embeddings for cycle. Actually, what you can do, you can pass three different uh, values over here, and this time you make a mistake. So this is bicycle, and then you can calculate three embeddings, and then these are three different embeddings. Then you can actually compute a cosine similarity between them, and you can verify that the this is the correct order. So this first index would get for bicycle, and then second index would get for cycle, and then third index is for bicycle. Cicle.
And can we get a three-dimensional, oh sorry, three cross one 1156 uh,
No,
array
you won't get it directly, but you can store it in whatever format you want to store. You can
in an
always,
array also? Yeah, that I don't know properly how to store, how to convert a JSON into an array. Can we do that? Can you please show me an example, please? Sorry.
well, what we can do is, Jivraj, we can just run a for loop and then
Yeah.
extract all the. We can just change uh, the indexing of those
yeah, yeah.
embeddings and
Yes, yes, yes.
append it in a file in a separate array.
Yeah, actually, you are
That can
correct.
be
I
easily
think
done.
array, and then you just pass. I think here you pass bicycle uh, embedding, and then you pass cycle embedding here.
Yeah,
This would get us in the. So I think this is two cross.
1156.
Hmm. Yeah, so this is towards those two
Five
variables.
three thirty six. Yeah, I'm sorry.
also, one more thing about embeddings. Jivraj, can you go back to that writer pad? That,
Yeah, sure.
yeah. So the thing with embeddings is that, let's say I am using a certain model for creating these embeddings. So let's say that model actually contains a billion words. Okay, so it will have a billion words, inside that model. And what we are going to do is, it will actually, when let's say if I passed kitten, just like Jivraj did, and if I pass kitten in that, what it will do is it will check the similarity of that word with all those 1 billion words. Okay, so it will be like, yeah, it will be going to each and every word and just then just checking what's the rate of similarity between this particular word and that word. Okay, so that's how these models actually work. And these models actually vary in the number of words they actually carry. Okay, so a small model would have about a billion. A medium sized model would have around 50 billion, I guess. And uh, a large model have like several, they have several more than 50 billion. These numbers can be wrong, can be a bit wrong, but it was like this. So these are the distinctions between these models. So they actually vary according to the number of words they store. Okay, so the bigger, the larger the model, the better you will get the embedding. So for instance, here we have 150 what 1500, whatever that number was. So that means that it's actually checking the similarity of a particular word with 1500 words in its database. Okay, so that's how embeddings actually work. And for this particular thing, to create embeddings, there is a library in NLP. Actually, ML, there are, like, for instance, for ML, for machine learning, there are certain libraries in Python. There are certain libraries for NLP as well in Python, and one of them have a module called word to vec. Okay, word to vec, word and then number two and then vec. So I guess it was a library or a module, but it will actually allow you to create, yeah, word to vec. This was,
So actually, I think it is deployed on Hugging Face, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember that it was part of Hugging Face or not. But yeah, I use this module to create some embeddings, and it required us to give which kind of model you want to use, large model or small model, and then we were able to create embeddings out of there. So this is a library which you can explore if you are, if you are interested about embeddings, because that's a really interesting subject. Embeddings is a really interesting thing to explore. And you can check this,
If you
check out
guys
this
if you
library.
guys
There
get
is documentation available for this library. Yeah,
So if
you were
you
saying.
guys can, well, when we get some free time after this term or in this term, during this term, can we have a session on Hugging Face also?
Hugging Face. All right.
Yeah,
Let's
after this project,
get
after
time.
project one, it would be very good, I think.
I'm not. I would say that
I
I'm not
cannot.
much aware about Hugging Face myself. But Jivraj, what do you think?
Yes, we can have. I mean, I have used some models and some databases of Hugging Face as well in one of my course. So I can actually take a session on it, but then we'll have to decide when we can take and if we will get the free time. So
Yeah,
I cannot.
Perhaps
I
we can
cannot.
have a session during the last weeks, because from
yes.
what I have heard, that the last weeks would be a bit lighter, and perhaps if we get time, we can have that session. What do you say?
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great actually, because Hugging Face is totally open source now, so it will be very helpful after during MLT and other stuff.
But let me tell you, Hugging Face won't be of much context when it comes to TDS. So if we are going to have a session, it would be just for a
For
discussion
learning, for learning only, not
for
not for.
learning. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, okay. We'll try to have a session, but uh, as of now, I don't know when we can have it. So that is something that, but we can have one session on it.
Yeah.
And one more thing was that have you guys used DeepSeek as of now
Oh, actually, I tried because I. Okay. Oh, if you don't have any more doubts, then I can actually stop the recording and then we can talk about all that.
Yeah, no more doubts. Doubts are over. Doubts are over.
Okay, okay.